Kaizer Kganyago is the spokesperson for the NPA, also joining us on the line. Mr. Kganyago, thank you for joining. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement, and good morning to your listeners.
As you've heard from Mokwele's lawyer, they are rejecting this provisional withdrawal of charges. They are asking, why not a permanent withdrawal?
Yeah, you say it is within their right to decide whatever they want to decide, and in principle, you will know that whether the word provisional is used or not, even if we had not said provisional, if we withdraw charges and new information comes, we could still reinstate the charges. For me, it's the same difference in the sense that in this particular instance, we were transparent to say, IDAC is saying to us that they are still investigating. We do not have those facts about what is it that they are investigating, but we have then put safeguards into this to say, even if you then say to us, you are still investigating, if you read number 5 of the letter that has been circulated by in the public, you will see we are saying there that to avoid any doubt, the matter may not be re-enrolled, or may any fresh decision to prosecute be taken without the express written approval. And that safeguard was put deliberately to say we don't want a situation where there is uncertainty, where we are saying these charges are withdrawn.
Yeah.
And then you are saying, I'm still investigating. We are saying, fine, we can't stop you from investigating. Continue with your investigation. But before you make any decision, because this matter is under review by the NDPP, you must come back and convince the NDPP before you then either re-enroll or prosecute.
So I've got 2 challenges then about that, Mr. Kganyago. The first one is, and let me hear what your thoughts are. One, if really there is an admission here by IDAC that the matter is not completely investigated, the investigations are still underway, why did the investigators and prosecutors then continue to charge Mokwele and the crime intelligence officers if the investigation was not finalized? Don't you finalize investigations and then decide whether or not there are reasonable chances of a successful prosecution? And if the NPA head accepts that there's no way that you go and charge people when you are not done with investigations, why would the same people who investigated the matter still be allowed to continue investigating the matter when there are such glaring serious violations here of even the NPA Act?
You see, Clement, the issue here is IDAC as an institution has got the powers to investigate and to prosecute. Therefore, they don't need permission from the NDPP to do that. They do it. All they can do maybe to inform the NDPP. Therefore, in this particular instance, they made those decisions, and those are the things that we will look at because the administrative issues that will be looked at after. But here we are talking about a prosecution decision that on the 10th of July, the NDPP, you remember at the 10th of July when we had that press conference, it was at the time where there was this issue around IDAC, the fight between IDAC and crime intelligence. And at that time, the things that we know at Matlanga had not happened. Therefore, the decision was taken at that point to say, let me review this as the NDPP, using the powers of the Constitution. Therefore, he started the review because now it is elevated from where the decision was made, which is at IDAC, to his level. And he then started the review. Secondly, there was then this issue of representation that he had to look into. But thirdly, while that was happening, then the Matlanga things happened. And all of those things were taken into consideration when a decision was made to withdraw. Therefore, the administrative parts of why people did what they did, we will then deal with them as an administrative issue between.
But the challenge though is Mokwele, for instance, Dineo Mokwele is going to continue being investigated by the same people who violated what's expected of them as investigators. They went and charged her and other officials before they completed investigation, and the head of the NPA says, well, let that investigation continue. But if it's
me and you, Clement, don't know whether it is the same people. Therefore, we cannot just conclude, because unless you are saying same people because it's IDAC, because IDAC is not made up of the individuals that might have been dealing with this matter. there are other people at IDAC that can
But
do
the
this.
NPA head
Therefore,
didn't say that. I mean, he could have said in the statement that the matter has been transferred to a separate, independent, objective team and not the ones that has already committed such serious acts of unethical and even NPA violations. He doesn't say that in the statement. So the assumption everybody has is that the very same people who went and charged people without completing investigations and acted unethically are the very same people that are going to investigate the same matter. Surely that is unfair.
that is why I'm saying me and you don't know, because we didn't issue any statement. We were writing a letter to the lawyer. Therefore, we don't have to put all administrative issues in a letter that we are writing as a response to something that from representations that were made. That's why I said let's separate the issue of a prosecutorial decision and the administrative issues. Therefore, yesterday we went to address the staff at IDAC, myself and the NDPP. And there are changes that are going to be made, and we will be announcing them by Thursday.
Okay, so then by Thursday we'll know if the people who are doing further investigations are the same people or not.
You can ask that question and you'll get the answers, I suppose.
Okay.
There will be a press conference.
Okay, the last challenge I have is if this investigation proceeded from an unlawful decision, and that's very clear right now. I mean, if the NPA had just even asked for whatever was presented at the Madlanga Commission, that would have been clear. So if the very basis of the investigation was unlawful, on what basis then can there be further investigations conducted?
You need to understand that the National Director of Public Prosecution is in a position where he then doesn't only depend on what is on Madlanga and on the representation. He asks many other questions because there was a team that was looking into it. It wasn't him dealing with it directly. And then they ask those questions. And based on the information before them, because he cannot say to IDAC, investigate or don't investigate. Therefore, if they are saying to him that, therefore he has got to make sure that he balances off all of these things. And that is why he has put that rider that I'm talking about at number 5.
Okay, Kaizer Kganyago, let me thank you. I'm out of time. He's a spokesperson for the NPA. Okay, let me know what you think. I'm really not convinced here. If the NPA head wants to intervene here because there are irregularities that he has picked up that have happened, would you allow the same team that investigated Mokwele and the other crime officials to continue doing that? And if it's not the same team, then you owe that explanation at the very least to the people that have been wrongfully charged. The people whose charges you are withdrawing, you owe them the explanation because you want to put them at ease, right? You want to say to them, don't worry, this matter is going to be investigated further by a separate team, not a team that has acted so unethically and violated the NPA Act and charged you before investigations were even completed. And that fact is non-existent in the statement from the NPA. And also, we now know that there was no basis to investigate to charge Mokwele. The head of IDAC has conceded to that. So what further investigations then are you going to do against someone when an IDAC head has considered that we had no basis to even charge her of corruption and fraud because we had not even seen her CV. Now that we see the CV, the head of IDAC said, then it doesn't make sense that we've charged her with corruption and fraud. Then my question is, if that concession has been made so publicly, why are you investigating further? On what basis? Because that investigation proceeded from an unlawful decision and unethical conduct. Do you get where the NPA is coming from here? Or do you understand why Mokwele's lawyers are rejecting this provisional withdrawal? Let me know your thoughts.